Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing well. Friends, this is part 4 of my 6-part mini series on how to be a great communicator. In part 1, I talked about concise messages. In part 2, I talked about using short sentences and simple English. Part 3 was about effective pauses. If you have not seen those videos, I will leave a link in the description box. So let's get started with part 4 right away. Part 4 will be about avoiding fillers or avoiding filler words. So first let us understand what are the most common filler words. Some of the most common filler words are right, sort of, kind of, something like that, you know, like. So friends, in my last 10 years of experience as a communication coach, I can tell you that the last three, which is you know, and like, are some of the most common filler words which I have come across. Now there could be others also, but in my experience these three are the most common. Now why do people use filler words? The first and the most common reason is lack of command over the language. Now if you're not very fluent in English or Hindi or the language which you speak, you will tend to use filler words in between sentences or in between two sentences because you want to fill up that gap. The second reason could be no organized thought process or planning. Now whenever you have to make a speech or a presentation, you need to plan, and if you are not ready, if you have not planned, you will tend to use filler words. The other reason is that our brain moves much faster than our mouth, and I will talk about this a little later, but this is one of the main reasons why people use filler words. And the last one could be is that you are plain simple nervous, you are underconfident, and that's why you tend to use filler words. Now what damage can filler words do? The first damage filler words can do is they can make you look absolutely underconfident and absolutely unsure, which could be a deal breaker when it comes to your communication skills. The second reason, people get the feeling that you lack communication skills, that you're not able to communicate properly. And your core message is all muddled up and it becomes a drag, and people feel that you are unnecessarily dragging the conversation, something which you can finish off in 15 minutes using filler words if you've taken about 20 or 22 minutes. So this is some of the damage which filler words can do to your conversation. So I'm going to talk about 3 strategies on how you can avoid filler words. Strategy number 1, identify your filler habits. Now friends, it is very important that you identify which are the filler words which you use, because everyone has a specific filler words which they use, and it is very important that you recognize them. The main problem is that people don't realize that they are using filler words. It is only when they hire the services of a communication coach that they are told that they use a lot of filler words. Record yourself and identify your filler words. Now everybody has a mobile phone. You should record a passage on your mobile phone and identify which are the specific filler words you are using. Ask someone you trust, maybe a colleague, maybe your supervisor, maybe your spouse, and ask them to tell you specifically which filler words you use. So that is strategy number 1. So let's return to an earlier example which I have shared in part 3. Let's read out this passage where I'm using filler words. So we have a packed agenda today. We have to discuss our social media campaign, especially Instagram ads. We will look at overall growth over the past 6 months and our strategy like going forward. We need to discuss attrition and how we can backfill quickly. And Jatin will walk us through the revised hiring numbers given the reduction of volumes by the client. Now friends, if you heard me using these filler words, the entire passage kind of sounds muddled up, and I'm using filler words where it is not required, and people will get the impression that I'm nervous or I'm underconfident. So this is the kind of damage which filler words can do to your communication skills. Let's go to strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 to avoid filler words is slow down. Now point number 1 is something which I talked about earlier. We tend to use filler words because our brain is moving much faster than our mouth. This is one of the main reasons we use filler words. Our mouth and our vocabulary just cannot match up with our thoughts. And since we want to fill up that gap between two sentences or in between a sentence, we tend to use or you know. And so that's the main reason we use filler words. And so strategy number 2, you can overcome all this if you just slow down. So that's in strategy number 2, slow down. And the last one is use pauses. I have already covered this in detail in my video number 3. Pause at the end of each sentence, avoid mid-thought pauses, and pause to separate ideas in a list. And pause at every comma and full stop. And this is something which I've already covered, but I'm just reiterating. If you want to stop using filler words, pause at the right place. This will definitely help you overcome your habit of filler words. So friends, I want to summarize. Point number 1, identify your filler words. Everyone has specific filler words. Point number 2, slow down. And point number 3, use pauses. So friends, I hope you have found value in this particular video. If you have liked it, please share it with your families and friends. And I will be back with video number 5 soon. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.